Righty. So welcome back to NZ Mopar Kustoms again. So still working on this spare wheel bracket carrier thing. They straighten this piece. It's, I think by the looks of it, it's been twisted like that and it got bent. Try and show if I can. So this is the other side. And you can look at this and you can look almost parallel down through there, right? It's on the same plane, if you know what I mean. So if you take this one, okay, move. I'll set that back there again, but if you look down here, where that's level, it's level with that bar, if you know what I mean. It doesn't change direction, whereas if you look down this one, see how this is, you look down that and then you see how this is twisted up. So I'm going to try and heat this and then untwist that. And I think that should, I don't know, just bring it back into alignment where the whole thing needs to be, I think. I may have to do some other tweaks because I do know that this here is all bowed too, but I'm not quite so panicked about that. We'll see how that affects it when it's sitting there because it's almost twisted and bowed through here too. But I'll get this straightened out, put it back on the back of the car again, and see how it looks. And I may have to try and straighten this. I may pop that in the press, possibly. The biggest problem is I can't pull the fucking thing apart, so I can't do that. I might be able to, I'm not sure. If I could lay this flat in the press and just push it here, probably be fine, you know, and I'd straighten it out. But yeah, I'd have to basically blow the backs off these rivets and put new rivets in there if I have to. If I really have to do that, I will, if I can't get it to sit how I want it. But I'm going to heat this through here and try and take the twist out of this so it sits level with that bar. So this here is on the same plane. I've only got to pull it around like that. So it kind of looks, you know, so it's like that one. Because this is all flat through here. It's like it would be level or even, if you know what I mean. It's all on the same. It's kind of hard to show, but you know what I mean. It's kind of on that same thing, whereas this isn't. It's all kicked up and queer. It's not far. It's not a long way away, but it just needs to come round like that. So I'll heat that up and see if we can bend that round. I'll use that big crescent, put it on there, and heat that, and try and tweak it around if I can. So yeah, we'll do that. And we'll, yeah, I'll probably set the camera up and just do it. There it is up here. Anyway, we'll test fit that again. Test fit pretty good. We'll go see if it fits and how it fits and all the rest. Oh, how does that look down there? That's pretty fucking good. That's actually pretty good. I think we're getting somewhere. I don't know if that should be sticking out there like that, but I don't know. I ain't freaking clue what it's meant to look like. But that actually looks pretty good. It's actually sitting pretty nicely now. Down there. I'm pretty happy with that. The biggest problem is I don't know how that sits, if you know what I mean. So just sit on there something like that with the tyre, and there's obviously a piece that goes in here to hold it down. That's pretty not far away, actually. It's pretty not far away at all. Right. Imagine then the brackets attached to the back of this was also part of the bracket that catches this that hooks on here. I need to find some photos of the back one. That's the wheel carrier so I can see what's missing. But yeah, I think we're in the right ballpark there. Definitely the right ballpark. I'll do some more research, I think. See if I can find some photos with one of those carriers on it, and just see if I can have a bit of a look and just see how that works, and just see if I can figure a couple of things out. But yeah, I think we're definitely heading in the right direction. Yeah, so it actually looks pretty good down there now. Those bars sit quite even, especially down at this sort of level, you know. Like they look like they're sitting there quite nicely. Doesn't look out of place. Assume that bracket's actually probably on about the right angle too, because you got to remember it's got to have that valance that comes in down here, and it sticks over this. So yeah, we're probably about bloody spot on. I probably almost need to get that piece and just slip it in there and have a wee test fit. Just sit it there and then put that bracket back on it and just see. But yeah, but I need to have a wee looky to see. I've got a sneaking suspicion that the air is off. That thing up there. But I think we could be missing. Well, I don't know. Like it could be here, but I just imagine this has got something that maybe hooks. You know, you flick around and it, so you can get the wheel off, and then flick around and locks back in. Or some description, if you know what I mean. I don't know, but I have to have a look at some photos, so I'll do that now. Right, so I actually found a really good shot of it on the back of a red one, and it doesn't have this plate in here. Not that that matters, but it gave me a really bloody good look at what happens. So I'm missing a whole bracket that goes from this bar behind comes, obviously, a bit like these other things, a bit like, I don't know if you can see that or not, it doesn't matter. Comes from this bar, picks up, it comes around the front here with a big, nice big thick boss on it, and then it catches the back of the rim like these things do. So it's got like a little tag on it that hangs down here. It comes from this bar around, catches the back of this wheel, and then hooks up over here, and then there's another big, heavy, like boss piece that's got the tag that sits on that side, and it's got a nut on it that winds in here and tightens up. So this can't go anywhere. So this would just sit there against that other piece. Yeah, and then the other piece screws onto it. It's got like a nut on the outside of it that winds up and tightens up. So obviously that plate that comes up there is threaded and catches in here somehow. Yeah, and this plate wasn't here, but it had like another tab or something on here. It might have been a slightly different year, but it was the same basic thing, if you know what I mean. It could have been a 26 or 27, you wouldn't know, but it was the same principle. So yeah, I need to have a hunt. I might have a hunt upstairs, or have a hunt around through some of these other bits, and see if that piece is here, or I'm going to have to make it, and then I'll have to make the outside piece. So yeah, that's probably the next bit that I will start making, but I probably need to fit that other thing on and just have a look, at least to make sure this clears, to get this position right, so I know that this is out far enough so I can move this in and out and whatever, and get this sitting out at the right position, if you know what I mean. But that is the basic principle. So yeah, I'll have a hunt around and see if I can see that bracket. I don't think I've seen anything like that, but I can soon make it. So yeah, it's completely different to what I thought was. I didn't really know what was there, but yeah, that makes total sense. So yeah, around this bar with a couple of, with a bolt on it or whatever to clamp onto here, comes out here, catches the back of the rim like these pieces do, up onto here, and then there's another piece that comes on there and sandwiches the wheel there so it can't move, and it's all tied together. So yeah, that's the next bit that I have to make or find. Actually, I wonder, the guy that he got some of these spare parts off, I wonder if they've got a spare wheel carrier and they've got that bottom bracket. I wonder if it's worth asking that question instead of me spending a few days making something and then trying to find the right thing, if you know what I mean. Yeah, we'll see how we get on. I have a hunt around here, see if there is one here. I don't think I've ever seen it, but now I know what I'm looking for. That's not to say it's not here, and especially upstairs, maybe in amongst that junk in the corner, but I haven't seen anything just directly here, but I'll have a wee look, because some bumpers and stuff over here that I haven't had a real good look at yet, because it was sort of not a high priority, you know, we can do that and fit them at the end, if you know what I mean, but we'll have a look. Well, I found another spare wheel carrier, but there's no bottom brackets that I can see anywhere, unfortunately. Yeah, so if you're wondering, that's a 27-ish. It's similar to that thing, but it's very quite different, and it's again in pretty poor condition. Poor thing. So yeah, there's another spare wheel bracket, and that's actually got that, doesn't have that plate in it. So whether that one's meant to have that plate or not, I don't know. It's probably straighter than that one was, but I've got that one straighter now. But yeah, I don't have that, still don't have that bottom bracket. I was actually trying to look, see if I could find any other pieces up here that maybe I could grab if I need them. And probably the only thing that would be handy would be that there. Getting close, because that air one is broken in behind. But this has got that different column thing on it, whereas ours separates here. This has got a different piece which bolts in a little bit different. So yeah, this is that slightly later model, and these posts are different. And this was obviously a hard top with door frames. But yeah, she's a bit of a basket case, this one. Needs a lot of work. Probably worse than that one. But, you know, that one wasn't very good either for a start. So yeah. Yeah, not quite sure what I'm going to do there. I'll talk to Aaron and get him to talk to, because we got another diff from up country a little bit. And so some people got some parts, so maybe they might have one of those brackets, those bottom brackets on that back beam, and see. It might be worth pursuing. Instead of, if I have to make one, I'll make one. But if I don't have to make one, it'll be nice not have to. Because it's a pretty heavy, chunky piece. So I'm gonna have to get some fairly serious bits of steel to do it, if you know what I mean. So anyway, I'll get back down and we'll find. Well, I might actually I might pull that off and start wire brushing it up and cleaning the steel up anyway, that piece, and then we can get that cleaned up a little bit, I guess, and try a coat of etch on it and whatever, because I still haven't got paint, so I haven't heard anything else when we're getting it. So yeah, we'll just find something else to do. Sweet, I just got to text some engineers, so hopefully there's some stuff there. They want me to call in there, so hopefully there's some bearings and bits and pieces there. I'm hoping, or something anyway. So I'm just getting this thing cleaned up. I'll just run over it with the wire wheel and the grinder and clean the worst of it off. Now I'm going to go over it with this one, or maybe a slightly bigger wheel. Try and get on the nooks and crannies that I can't get in with that, if you know what I mean, because it's big and awkward. Yeah, we'll just try and clean this up, and then I'll give it a coat of rust converter, and then yeah, we'll just give it a scuff up and leave it till we find out whether we're going to make a bracket or can find one. Just talked about only just before. Actually, I might try and straighten this out. But anyway, I was talking to him before, and he's going to get hold of the people that we got the diff head off and see if they may have the bottom bracket that goes onto the chassis for this. Just, you know, it might make life a little bit easier than trying to make it. I can make it, but if it's one less thing I don't have to make, or we can just put it on, you know, clean it up and put it on, maybe straighten it out or something like that. Well, no, it's a couple of days. I don't have to spend making something, or more, if you know what I mean. Trying to work it all out, because it's got to be fairly solid. You know, it's got to be at least as solid as this, so I can make it out of reasonable steel. So also you'll have that consideration. And once if I can get that in the press and give it a push, I don't know. Wouldn't mind just putting it on here and maybe putting a couple of pieces underneath here and just push that down and see if it'll straighten out a little bit. So I might do that. I might see if I can get it in there somehow. I'm not quite sure how, because I can turn this a bit. See if I can get it out of the road a little bit and just try and push on this piece. See if it'll straighten it a little bit. Might go do that now before lunch. Well, I think that's better. It's through here, So you're not having to push in here. I thought I might have now push on this piece, but all I want to do is kick it over. So I pushed on the plate and here as close as I could to this edge. And it worked quite well. I think it's definitely better. It's not quite a twist in it, as much twist in it as before. So I'll carry on and clean this up a little bit more. I might put one of these other wheels on, a slightly bigger one, I think, instead of the little one. Yeah, I might put that slightly bigger one so I can get into some of these areas are just a little bit easier. Stuff like this, and just giving them there, just give it a decent freaking scrub up, if you know what I mean. And yeah, when we'll get it prepped for, well, just give it a coat of freaking rust converter. So I'll do that. I'll just check to see what the time is, because I've got to go the engineers and have a look at these parts or bearings or whatever, or pick stuff up, or I'm not sure. Righty, so we got some bits back, but I think I might have to take some stuff back. Right, so we got not a wheel bearing, a bearing for the gearbox, the other one that we needed. This is the bit that kind of annoys me. I gave him this, and this bush was meant to have been remade to fit in here to line up with these holes, so it doesn't move around and block the whole gallery off. It wasn't done, so I obviously completely forgot about it and thought I just gave it to them for something to look at. And we've got the main, well, not the main shaft, but the other shaft made for the box, for the gearbox. So this is a replacement for that one. This was all worn queer, so that's cool, that's good. So I can put that in, but I can't put the top shaft in, which is a pain in the ass. And this is the tie rod ends. So these haven't been hard or heat treated yet, but I've got to just make sure that they fit. Obviously make sure that these fit in the cones and all that sort of stuff, or not on the cones, but in the tapers, make sure that they fit in there properly, and then I will get the bits heat treated or hardened or whatever. Yeah, so just got to make sure that these fit in the things and whatever. So because these pieces here have been all remade, and I think the inside of this has been remachined. So this is all stuff I've been waiting on. Try and put some shit back together. And we're still waiting on wheel bearings, but they are on order. Just gotta wait for them. But my god, are they expensive? Holy shit! I won't tell you how much, but we're talking 4 figures for 6 wheel bearings. Well, 4 wheel bearings and 2 axle bearings. We're talking 4 figures. For a whole lot. So, yeah, it weren't cheap. But I think they're on their way anyway. We kind of need them. Crazy though. So people don't understand what costs so much when they're rebuilding some of this stuff. But yeah, they should have. I'm not sure, but I think they try to clean up in here too, so these fit properly. I'm not 100% sure on that. So yeah, I just got to do a quick test fit to make sure that these do fit in the Yeah, they're meant to. They feel good anyway. And clean. Hopefully we'll have more of that grease down in there. That's cool. They're going to come back apart and be clean anyway, so it's no biggie. And then these have a, I'll go find the other bits. So yeah, there's a couple pieces that fit over top of this for like a seal, but it's felt. Obviously to stop the shit from getting in there. At least now I can fit that in the, what do you want to call it? Stub axle. And just make sure that they do fit in. And then I can drop these back off to be heat treated. Not ready for use to be heat treated, so yeah. But it's cool, at least I got them there and I can test them. Make sure that they fit properly. There's no point in heat treating them if they don't fit properly. But at least I can just poke them up through the thing, wind them nut on, and assume they've frickin' hopefully got the nuts still. I don't think I've got them. Yeah, so these are the things that go over top once it's on the where's my book? Is that in there? Drawings of that in here. Or it's on the phone. That's on the phone. Yeah. So it doesn't fit down over that, does it? So yeah, this is like the seal. It's meant to go down in there, and then the spring sits on top of it. And then the that goes between the knuckle, between the two pieces. And then obviously that one's on top. So there's your tie rod end, and then here's a little cover and the spring jamming between there and the frickin' what do you want to call it, the frickin' stub axle part. Man, brain blank at the moment. And then the nut on top. So yeah, they've made them too fat again. Better have a look. We'll go have a wee look. That one almost fits over. Almost fits over. I think they might have had a little bit of felt in there too, if you know what I mean. Right between here and here. And the spring. Anyway, we'll go have a quick wee look. See if they fit in the taper. Righty. Lift you down a little bit. So I think that's alright. By the time you pulled it up tight, and it needs some felt or something in there to work as a seal, and this holds it down. I would have preferred there was a bit more tension on that spring that was sort of like half compressed, but yeah, I'm not quite sure on that, whether they made to make this taper I don't know, a little shorter or something. I don't know, because probably the biggest problem is probably the socket where the ball joint fits in is probably worn, so it would normally be up further, but I haven't got the original gutses here to compare notes, if you know what I mean. I don't know what they've done with them, which is a bit of a pain, because it would be nice to just sit there and study and fit the other pieces back in and put them back together, if you know what I mean. But we'll try this other one on the other side. I did get that piece to push over the back bit. So we'll have a quick look on the other side and just see where how that fits, and then I can take them out of there and drop them back to the guys, before I go home, and hit them up about that other freaking bit. And ask why they forgot to do it, which is a pain, because now I can't put the gearbox back together. So that there really needs to go over. I can probably stretch that out. With this, I can stretch this out if I have to. But looks right, but it just seems to be a long way away from there, if you know what I mean. I'd like to see the other one. I'd like to get them back, because they're almost like they need to be just a little smaller, so it goes a wee bit further up, and cut the thread back a little bit shorter, if you know what I mean. But oh yeah, so it would sit there like that. Obviously this pushes forward from the steering box that pokes out a hole just off screen there. So the steering box pokes through here, and then pushes us forward and back. And yeah, I just don't want to have to put a massive piece of felt in there to try and take up that slack. I'm assuming this might pull up in there a wee bit, but it's probably not going to go up there a lot. I don't really know, if you know what I mean, because I haven't got the other one to compare it to. I don't have the other one to compare it to. Possibly should have given them these, but it doesn't matter. But I'm pretty sure that just slipped over the other ones quite easy. So this could be just a little bit big, you know. Another, a couple of thou off there, and then it would just slip down and these would fit a little bit further up. Yeah. But anyway. Yeah, that should be in there, that should be in there, and then that on there in between. So instead of having a rubber cup, a felt and spring and a spacer. But anyway, at least they fit. They do fit in the tapers. That's probably the biggest thing. We can work around other problems. The gap. Worst comes to worst. But yeah, it would be nice to have those other tapers, the other balls back here, just to compare how much they actually fitted up in there before they took up, if you know what I mean. So yeah. So I'll poke them back in there. Don't know whether we'll leave that on there or not, because I might get the bastard back. Yeah, why they didn't do anything with this, I don't know. They haven't even looked at it. Took it there, gave it to them to frickin' do. And they haven't fixed the situation. Just kind of frickin' annoying. Now, I can't put that box together. I can put the bottom shaft in it. There's no point until I know I can put it together and close it up and get it out of dust and dirt from here from them, which is a pain. I would like to do that all in one hit. You know, and I see it through, clean it all up in the morning, and then put it all together and have it all closed up by that night. Yeah, I don't want to be doing it. You know, once I start it, I don't want to be screwing around waiting on more parts. So there's no point doing anything with it. It's a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass. So yeah. Oh, we're slowly getting ahead. Slowly getting ahead. I just hope it doesn't take too long to get that stuff back. Anyway, we can put this shit here. Now that's ready. Now that's ready. That's ready to go. Sit there, ready to go. Bearing. Yeah, anyway, I'll carry on. I didn't show you this before either, before I left for lunch either, so turn the camera around, hold on. So I started painting that down with that stuff, so I need to turn it around so I can get the last little bits in here that I couldn't get, obviously. So I'll quickly reposition it and we'll look at the shit now. Yeah, I'll sort something else out. I'll get that, have a tire end off there, let that dry, and kind of figure out what I was going to do next. I was going to start cleaning up that gearbox stuff, but there's no point until I get that bush sorted. So, yeah, that kind of frickin' screws me over again. It's a pain in the butt. I need it. Need it fixed and sorted. Alrighty. Oh shit, this doesn't flicker. But anyway, so I thought, okay, I've always test fit, make sure this shaft fits properly and don't have any issues there. It doesn't fit. That's, okay, I'm talking in inches here. Well, fractions, you know. So this here is that big, alright, in inches, 0.9055-ish of an inch. This one here, across that same surface, is 9.2, or was, until I moved it. Yeah, it's 9.02, thereabouts anyway. So, because it's such a, it's only a small amount, but it's enough to do this. And it won't fucking go in. So I'm going to have to take, I could probably take that round the old man's lathe and put it and polish it up, but I don't want to damage the surface, to be honest. I'd rather get it back to them and get them to fix it. I've got to wait on that other stuff we made. So this is the original. I'll get it nailed at the other end. So it's a snug fit, right? So it's a snug fit at that. And I thought maybe for a start off this was too big down here and wasn't going into the other end of the case, but I don't know that, to be honest, either, but it won't fit in this end. Well, it does fit in that end, but yeah, it's too tight. I'd have to bash it in there, and then you got to try and get it out again. I might just about to emery cloth it. And I might better just put it in a lathe gently and just polish this a little bit more, so it's slightly smaller. But it's grabbing on here. Like, it's not a lot, but yeah, there's a couple of foul when it comes to tolerances and gearboxes and engines and all those sorts of things. So it's close. It's close, but it's not quite close enough. And I don't really want to have to bash it in there to make it fit, you know what I mean? And then get it jammed in there, and not that it's turning on that piece, but it would be nice to have to pull something out. You're not fighting with the frickin' thing. It needs to come out nicely. I probably could just clamp it in the old man's lathe on here, put this steady in the end of it, and just polish it up, I think, and see if it'll fit. Take the case around there. I might do that, but yeah, I need to get that at the bush frickin' sorted. Alrighty, welcome back, guys. So yeah, I'm on a video somewhere. Man, battles trying to freaking get through footage when I get a chance. God, things have been just so freaking weird and hectic. Just trying to get things sorted and whatever, and all the shit that's going on with the family, and like my side, my cousin, and Rachel's side with her brother, and all sorts of other things, and just being busy here, and then yeah, just getting a chance to get to the computers. I'm back to the computer at a reasonable sort of time frame without me being up really late at night or getting up really wanting to get a chance to get at it. It takes a battle to get some of these videos sorted out, so I end up with so much footage I almost don't know where I am. I sort of throw 2 or 3 hours of footage at a video and then start sifting through it, and yeah, you end up with a 45 to an hour minute long video and go from there. But at the moment, so I kind of left yesterday in a bit of a freaking weird spot, because that was a really messy day. Didn't get hardly anything achieved that I wanted to get done. So I decided, since I didn't put any primer in that windscreen frame yesterday like I was going to, and I've completely forgotten about it, and this really needs coated properly, and the deer are still going freaking mental over there. So I want to give this a bit of a light sand down that spare wheel carrier. Not sure where we're at with the rest of it. I guess you guys would have seen the videos by the time this one comes out to know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so I need to get another coat. I need to blow another coat on that at least while I'm doing that windscreen frame, because I've put etch on it, and I put some weld through on it thinking maybe that I might have done it, but then I've decided, well, I've actually got all these little bits and pieces that kind of need painted properly, so I'm sort of going through all the little bits and pieces and getting them hung up and getting them etched at least, which are all these bits. So I've got, I don't know whether it's brake or clutch pedal. I think it's brake pedal. Oh no, that might be clutch pedal, sorry. Handbrake housing, and then the lever, and then I think that's the brake pedal, steering wheel, and some pulleys that go with the brake stuff. That one goes further down underneath the car for the handbrake. So yeah, I'm sort of going through some of those pieces, just finding what I think needs painted. I've got some of these stuff here too to be sorted out and painted too. This I think I might just rattle can black, because it's only up underneath the dash. And it's sort of tucked up so way, and you're only really kicking this piece with your foot anyway. So I think if I just get some, this here's not really glossy. Well, it is, but it's not. But I'll get some more. I'll get some high gloss. I'm actually out of the rattle can stuff. So there's a few bits and pieces I'll just do with that because, or something like that. Like I'll etch it and, what I actually really need to do is probably get a can of just primer, too, just rattle can primer. Just for some of the little bits and pieces. Like a few of those brake rod linkages and stuff like that are sort of so freaking funny to paint. And some of the little levers and stuff that go along with that. I think I'll just etch them and blow a light coat of rattle can primer over and then a little bit of rattle can gloss, if you know what I mean. And because it's going to be underneath the car anyway, so you're not looking at it. And if it does need a touch up at some point, well, it's not hard to give it a wee flick. I don't see the point in putting 2-pack on them, if you know what I mean. It's just so many little funny things that you paint you end up with, and I'm going to have to hang most of it, and it's fiddly little shit to paint. So yeah, especially like rods and stuff like that, you know, if I can just lay them out on the table and just give them a couple of coats with some rattle can. No, but go through some half decent steps, so at least it's not just black paint on bare steel, if you know what I mean. There's lots of little pieces like that I will do, and maybe a couple of little brake. It's like some of the springs and bits and pieces that go on the brakes. I might see if I can get some like heat-proof black gloss or something like that. If I can just flick a little bit of that stuff that might get a bit hot and blister the paint. So I might do a little bit of that too. You know, I need to hunt some of that stuff out, just so I can paint some of that stuff without having to get stupid, if you know what I mean. But these, well, that's going to be sort of high wear, and it's got to look nice. That's the steering wheel, obviously. This is going to be fairly high wear. These are all going to be inside the cab. They're all going to be sort of visible, but high wear. That's probably not so much. Like I probably could just rattle can that, because it's away underneath the car. But I'm just looking for pieces like that. I would do these pieces for the for inside the headlights, but I need to get that in there with the bolt and the washer thing on it, and then drill a hole in that and tack that down. And I need to give it a bit more of a clean up, and I need the other one back. I'll do them all at the same time. Once I know that they fit. That's kind of why I haven't screwed around with them. Yeah, I'm just looking for other bits and pieces that need to be done, and that I've worked out that I need, because there's a lot of stuff here that I don't know if I need, if you know what I mean. Lots of funny little pieces that, likes of, you know, things like this. I don't even know if it's off this, if you know what I mean. I haven't worked that out yet. So lots of little funny things like this. There's like this sort of stuff. I don't know what that's for. You know, and there's like things like this. I think this is for the 2-brake system, like for the front and rear brakes. Off another one, if you know what I mean, like the 27 that's up there that's got front brakes. So there's lots of little pieces like that too that I don't know whether they're for this or whether they're not, if you know what I mean. Which I'll work out, you know. But yeah, so I'm just going through the stuff that I really know until we start putting a few pieces on and then realise what we're missing, if you know what I mean. Once we actually start banging this thing together. So I'll keep hunting through a few more pieces here, just see what else I can flick a bit of each on at least while I'm doing a few bits and pieces, even though it's rattle can, so it's simple, but just trying to get a few little pieces like that sorted. Yeah. I think that'll do in the meantime. It's kind of funny to see it. Once I get a few of those pieces done, then I'll mix up a little bit of primer and I'll flick around most of them, because that etch does dry very fast. But I might pull the bloody door down and turn the frickin' heater on, I think. It's quite bloody nippy. My fingers are cold. Not that it's real cold, but you know. So, yeah. I'll carry on and get to some more of that shit sorted. Keep hunting. Alrighty, hopefully you can hear me. So I've got a couple of coats on most of this stuff. That I've probably sort of, I don't know, probably a couple of 3 on there, sort of just quickly sprayed it around there. By the time I flicked around the other stuff, sort of went back and then did it again, type sort of thing. Same with this, has probably got a 2 or 3 extra on it. I've still got a little bit in the gun. I'm just going to let this flash off for a little bit and then I'll flick a little bit on. Probably the windscreen frame and that, and probably the steering wheel. The other pieces probably aren't quite so critical, if you know what I mean. Well, I didn't paint that too. I just flicked one coat on that. Wasn't too worried about it. I just thought, well, I've got the primer in the gun and I've got it ready to go. So this is a few more pieces at least I can get painted black when I paint the black on the seat base pieces and that bit. And I'll probably, the steering stuff and that I'll get sorted at some stage. I've got to go over that and make sure it's cleaned properly. But I'll get the tie rod ends and back stuff back and I'll screw them on there and I'll paint them all of my head, if you know what I mean. So hopefully I'll have them back once I've got hardened and heat treated and whatever. So yeah, it's kind of where we're at with that stuff. So yeah, I'll just wait for this stuff to go on and I'll give it another flick. Actually, I've got the fan and that there too. I forgot about that. I'll grab that out of the box and strip that down and give that a sandblast and get that ready to spray black too. Yeah, it'd be nice if I can get that frickin' gearbox parts back in the next day or two. Actually, what I might do, once I've done this and finished flicking this bit of paint around, I might grab that gearbox and that shaft and walk around to Dad's and throw that shaft in the lathe. Sorry about the heat and noise. Just cold and I wanted a wee bit of temp in there while I was flicking a bit of primer around. I'll grab the shaft by here and the jaws and the 3 jaw, put it steady in the end, and we'll just polish this up a couple of times until it'll drop in here without having to really force it, and then it'll be ready to go in, and then I can actually double check it, make sure it goes right in there properly and all that sort of stuff. But I can get it down and it slips into that front piece, but yeah, it just keeps jamming on here. You can see a couple little, hopefully you can tell. You see these are like a little shiny spot there and like almost like a witness mark. That's about as far in as it'll go, and I've got to give that a decent thump, or even I sat it in there the other day and I used the yellow part of that handle on that hammer and just gave it a bit of a knock there to see if it would go in with a wee bit more force, and it won't. So I had to really pry it up out of there. I had to use a screwdriver and really lean to get it out, so it's too tight. It just needs a little bit off it, and hopefully a couple of polishes up, spitting in the lathe and a bit of emery cloth or a bit of 800 wet and dry or something like that. We'll just take, you know, half a thou or whatever off it so it'll slip in. So but that's probably all it needs, is, you know, just an extra half a thou or a quarter of a thou or something like that, and then it'll slide in without having to be jammed in there, if you know what I mean. So anyway, well, this probably had almost long enough. I'll plug my gun in and give those pieces another flick, and I'll be done with that. I'll check, we'll see what the time is here, and then I might shoot round to Dad's and just run that shaft in the lathe for 5 minutes, since I can't do it here. Alrighty people, so this fits now without too many, you know, fights. So it's still snug, but it's at least it can, you know, with a gentle bash in your hand, and it's going to go on, and then you got the little lock tab in there. So that's cool. Yeah, it was too tight before. So it took me a wee while to just with a bit of emery and some sandpaper just to get it down so it would slip in there without fighting too much. So I'm going to give these pieces a sand here, and just, well, I'm going to try anyway, just give them a light rub back and get them ready for a coat of paint. Just thought about it, this is actually meant to be nickeled, so I'll have to strip that off, it's no biggie. But yeah, I think I'm going to try and get this stuff here ready for a coat of black, so it will hang, try and hang that and that other front piece, and I'll check my spray gun, make sure it's spraying alright, and as long as I know these sand alright, and I'll give these a coat of black. And we'll go from there, I think. Or at least see if I can get them done today. Got a little bit of sanding to do, got a couple of little minor runs, but that's no biggie on them. This is so freaking easy to sand. Only got to give them a really light scuff and just fix a couple of little spots like that. These here, because it's so green too, I'd almost get away without sanding it, if you know what I mean. Because it would bite in straight away. If it was like been there 3 or 4 days, you would definitely have to sand it. I will just give them a light rub with some 400 or whatever, and it'll take pretty easy. So yeah, we'll get that one painted and those. I thought I might have had these done first, but at least I'll get something a bit more further on. We're getting there, Pretty easy things to paint too. Well, you know what I mean, like it's just simple stuff. So, it's cool. I'll have a quick look at my gun, give that a quick clean out. I haven't used that one for a while. So we can get on to work. And yeah, we'll go from there. Mix up a little bit of black and make them pretty. I was going to paint these satin, but I don't think it'll matter. I think just gloss will be fine. Because everything else is going to be gloss, so I think it'll be right. Those are there, I can probably, if I just sprayed it slightly different, it'll be, it won't be quite so glossy either anyway, you know. That I'll try and get nice and glossy. Be pretty easy anyway to get these glossy. These won't matter so much. I'll try and get that reasonably nice. But yeah, cool. See how we get on. See if they sand first. Righty. So I tried sanding that windscreen frame. It's filling the paint up on the paper. It's kind of sanding okayish, but I'll just leave them to finish sanding them back tomorrow, just so I can get a better result. I cleaned the paint off that one because it needs to be nickeled. I cleaned the fan up, gave it a sandblast and wire wheel and all that sort of shit, and I've just etched it in the pulley. So I've just been doing a few of those bits and pieces. That's about it. At the moment I'm just been finding more pieces to sort out and clean up and get another stage further. I did try sanding this, but it sanded okay, but I think I'll just wait till tomorrow and then I can give this another little light rub in a few spots. Because I tried to sand this too, but it was this one, yeah, but it was almost sort of borderline rolling up, if you know what I mean. So it's a bit green. Needs another few hours. So yeah, that's sort of kind of what I've been doing for the last wee while. Took me, a while to sandblast that fan up and whatever, and clean that shit off that other one. Just been going through bits and pieces like that, basically. I'm going to go through this gun so it's ready for the morning. If I happen to be sorted for that sort of stuff, put some wee bit of black on some of those pieces. Yeah, just see what I want to do. I'm half debating whether to hang some of these other small brake parts up and paint them. Like some of this stuff. Might flick some of these with a bit of edge and just paint them. Just flick them with my edge and paint them, if you know what I mean. Like I think the edge and the primer and just a bit of black over top of these will be fine without putting primer on them. No, they're not critical pieces, but I might as well paint them bastards while I've got them there. So I might do that. Then they're done too. For all it's going to take, just flick a little bit of each on it, and then yeah, just paint them black tomorrow. Do everything else while I've got the spray going out. May as well. May as well do all these pieces. It's probably just as bloody easy. Gonna quickly blow over. See how we get on. Give it a decent clean up. Frickin' problem with these shit sits around it. Gets a little bit of frickin'. It's a little bit of rust in these frickin' openings, but it's not too bad. I'll just give these a light blow over with the sandblast just to clean them up, and then give them a blow down and flick them over the edge. Because I assume these would be all black. I can't imagine they would have painted them green or pink or blue or anything, so. Yeah, I mean, there's a few of those bits to look and clean up. I don't know if this shaft would have been painted, maybe. Maybe it might have been painted, don't know. Don't know. Can always flick a little bit of rattle can around it later on. Before it's going on. That's the sort of rivets and pins and woodruff keys for the brakes. Yeah, so I'll clean a bit of that stuff up and get that ready too while I'm on that kind of mission. I almost lost motivation today because it's Friday. And just freaking getting all these, waiting on these stupid little pieces. So I feel like I can get a bit further with some of these other things. I'd really like to get that gearbox and stuff. Hopefully, I'm hoping the flywheel's ready, and I'm hoping that the paint's ready, and hopefully we get that freaking gearbox stuff next week. Hopefully get the paint and the flywheel maybe today. I don't know. And I think he's going to see if that grill shell's ready too today. That'd be nice. Get that and at least get that sanded back, and when we get all these other few little bits and pieces nickeled, we can get that done too. Really probably. Yeah. Just trying to think what else needs to be nickeled. The surrounds around the door handles. Inner door handles, the outer door handles. Handbrake lever. Most of that stuff's polished, I think. Oh, headlights. But I really need. Almost want the brackets in there. Oh, I can put them in afterwards. I forget some stainless. If I actually just get stainless bolts. Yeah, see what happens with the headlights. There's almost really need those brackets in there to then get the, say, copper rivets in them, isn't there? Yeah. Made a bit think here, it's freaking lots of little silly things to do yet. Lots of just little finicky farting around shit. So yeah. Alright, we'll catch you later on anyway. I'll keep mucking around with this stuff.